Good morning.
Good morning.
Or afternoon. Welcome to another Monday in Grit City.
Absolutely.
Living life like the mountains out, don't you know it?
Not quite. Not today.
No,
at
it's been
least.
very rainy today, actually. It's rainy enough, I don't know if it was worth the 15 degrees we got.
How'd your week go?
Pretty good week. Yeah, I got the daylight savings.
Oh, yeah.
That part sucked, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, but think of how the daylight we're saving.
Oh, that's a good point. My brother is, very against daylight savings. He's, morally against it and refuses to change his clocks.
Well, we did it for the farmers, and it's like, do tractors not have headlights now?
Yeah, exactly. Are the kids really being taken out of school for the harvest?
Some places maybe,
Some
but not
places
around
it is.
here.
Yeah.
No, this is not a take your kids out of school for a harvest area.
Well, it came up for the vote recently, and I think what is it going to be in 2025? We'll get rid of it?
I thought it was supposed to be sooner, but
It's only 2 years away. 1.5, depending on how many daylights you're counting.
2 years too far away.
Yeah.
I can't do any more of these. I feel like every year, I get older, and this just takes a bigger toll.
Oh,
just
really?
changing up my sleep schedule like that.
I texted my brother because he's in Bermuda, and I
Mhm.
was like, hey, did Bermuda do daylight savings? He said, I don't know. Everything I have is electronic and would do it automatically. But I did feel like a little less tired.
Ah,
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Anything else go on for you this week?
This last week, nothing too special.
Did
I
you
just can't think of it.
Did you go to that mic in Olympia?
I did go to the Mike and Olympia. It was the first time they were doing it, and it was kind of an interesting concept of they nominate some audience members to be judges, and they can allow you to continue your set longer if they deem.
Oh, that's an interesting.
Which is kind of cool because then most comics ended up doing 8 minutes or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and there actually was an audience there. It was for the size pretty full. Yeah, I think it'll be a decent mic going into the future.
Is it going to be?
I definitely should have been dirty if I'd wanted to continue, but the girl I was meeting up with there, her ID was expired, and they called her out for it. And then, so I wasn't really trying to stick around.
Darn bummer.
Yeah, well, so it goes. Turned out fine.
Yep.
What about you? You have any Tacoma-related activities this week?
Well, I watched the Sounders.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they played like trash and they lost.
Oh,
which is what happens when you play like trash.
That's what I guess so it goes. Who are they playing?
They were playing FC Cincinnati.
Oh.
At their new stadium, TQL Field, or I think it's TQL Field or TQL Park.
Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati, yep.
Oh, interesting.
Brand new stadium.
Where do you go to watch it? Do you go to Doyle's?
I went to Doyle's this time.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, people were like, "Oh, the refs robbed us of that game." It's like, no, you don't get robbed of a game when you play like trash.
So true. Yeah. Did they lose by a lot?
By one.
Oh.
1 goal.
That is a lot.
Yeah. And soccer.
Blowout.
You. That was Willie Dean.
Oh yeah, guest on the pod today.
Sort of.
I'm just sitting in.
He's our live studio audience.
Yeah, he's also part researcher. He was doing a little.
I did pick up a couple stories that I thought you guys might like to hear about.
Some pretty recent local ones.
Oh, but I got a bunch too.
You
do?
We might run out of time.
Like
Well,
you go
we'll
first
see
one.
how
What do
we
you got?
go.
What do you got for me?
Okay.
You don't have
The
a
first
story
one,
about a pilot, do you?
You have to talk about Sean Kemp.
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's start with the rain.
Sean
That's a
Kemp
good
at the
one.
Tacoma Mall.
Oh my goodness! I mean, here's the thing. Initially he was arrested to investigate a drive-by. I like to make one thing clear: when you approach a vehicle and the vehicle starts shooting at you, that's not a drive-by.
It's a drive away.
They have exactly.
Oh,
they have to drive in and fire first for it to be a drive-by.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can't.
Otherwise it's just
If you're parked, it's not a drive-by.
Yeah.
Just shooting from a vehicle.
very important distinction.
I think
Yeah.
it is. I mean, maybe that's why. Clearly he acted in self-defense at least.
Yeah, I think they fired the first
right, 'cause
shots.
you can't
no.
stand your guard and do a drive-by at the same time.
Well, they stole his phone, I guess.
Yeah, that's how
Oh,
he tracked
really?
him
They
down.
they stole the Rain Man's phone.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then they were able to, it wasn't very
He
protected?
tracked it with like the Find My iPhone thing.
Oh.
And he was like, these
oh.
motherfuckers are at the Tacoma Mall.
Mm.
And then he went over there, and they weren't. I mean, they probably were pretty scared when they saw an angry Sean Kemp
Oh,
approaching
yeah.
their
Do you
vehicle.
think they knew it was him?
That's what I wonder. If they just found a
If
phone,
he just left his phone somewhere,
or if they're like, dude, we have Sean Kemp's phone right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be millionaires.
Let's send a picture of our balls to Gary Payton.
The crazy thing is, like, the fact that they shot at him, if I ever end up losing my phone and, like, I
yeah.
track down where it is, I think I'm going to bring a gun.
Oh yeah.
well,
I
Sean
know
Kemp did.
He
That's
did,
actually-
and, he made the right choice, in my opinion.
I guess so. You know, now that you mention it, I know another person who had their phone lost/stolen, and needed the other person just stood their ground, and he wasn't able to. He had him dead to rights and wasn't able to do anything.
Wow.
You bring that gun, all of a sudden you have your phone back.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy little piece of local news. Did
Oh,
you say
yeah.
you were going to bring up the pilot, Willie?
Oh yeah.
I hadn't seen anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is 8 hours ago from Q13 Fox Seattle.
Yeah.
Should be
the
Fox
local
Tacoma. It's kind of the hub right now.
Yeah,
but,
I think so.
I mean, he did take off from the
Narrows Airport, right?
Narrows Airport in his 2006 Cessna T182 Turbo Skylane.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
Yeah?
The turbo.
What do you know about planes, Warren?
Not a lot, actually.
I've heard of
not
Cessna
much at all.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It's got a lot of numbers and words in there, so it's got to be
Mm.
good.
Oh yeah, but he pulled. Seems like he pulled a bit of Amelia Earhart.
That's what it's sounding like.
Mm.
That's what it's sounding like.
A little, a
He-
bit of.
he transed?
He's training for the Malaysian Airlines.
I mean, how do you... Wait, he went missing near Lake Quinault and Queets.
Okay,
Mm.
I've been to Lake Quinault.
What's
Yeah.
Queets?
Never been. I don't know what
No,
that is.
no,
Is,
yeah,
that
I'm
a,
not-
is that a town? Is that a city?
Yeah, it's probably a native word for something.
Queets.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Queets are
man,
what they called the little bumps that the blankets gave them.
I don't think that's true.
It seems like getting lost in a plane. How do they not know where you are?
I know. There should be a giant plume of smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
or even
as a
like
dead give. But I
you
guess
should
if he
just
went in the
be
water.
in communication with somebody. You lost your Sean Kemp lost his phone. Right?
Yep.
Do you not have
Sure.
a phone on you in the plane?
They have a Find My iPhone, but not a Find My plane?
Yeah, right.
How's there not a Find My plane?
You crash it. Isn't it iPhone that has the feature that'll report to emergency services if it thinks you were in a car accident?
Ooh,
The
that's
newer
pretty
ones
useful.
have that.
Mm.
If you're in a plane crash, it's too much.
It'll
it just
just-
destroys the phone, you know?
That's kind of cool. It'll just automatically start recording video and audio.
Well, it just sends out a report hey, this person was in a vehicular accident, depending on G-forces. Only problem was people riding roller coasters were setting it off.
The cops kept having to go to Disneyland.
Yeah. All they heard was screaming, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's a
yeah.
massacre!"
It's like, I'll take this one.
Well, you know what that probably means is that they never respond to any geo mapped crashes near Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
So
for
if you
sure.
get in an accident right outside of Disneyland, I mean you're gonna have to wait hours before an
yeah.
officer responds.
Well, or the Disney cops will get
Well, I
on.
mean,
Ooh.
even if it's inside Disneyland, you're gonna have to wait hours too. I mean, they're gonna have to wait in line to get in the
just
park.
every
Just to-
Even
they
the cops
don't-
require a line.
They
in
don't have fast
Disneyland.
pass.
True.
They'll find a cop in a wheelchair so they can go to the front of the line.
Dude, how do people in wheelchairs ride roller coasters? Do they?
I think the same way they ride. It seems like it's easy to do.
Yeah, you just kind of pick them up and put them down.
Yeah.
I guess.
They just have a spot where you can
The
just
same way they
I
get
feel
into
like
bed,
sometimes
they
though when I'm on a roller
chair.
coaster, part of why I feel safe and secure is that I'm sort of pressing my feet down, sort of anchoring my
Mm.
feet to the floor, you know?
Yeah, but that's not necessary.
Sort of pushing. I guess, yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
they got-
it's the over the shoulder strap that really holds you in. You
It's
know?
true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, you gotta get those clicks.
So do you think he was flying this plane solo? This guy
Yeah.
just going out for a plane ride.
Surprisingly common, actually, if you hang around Narrows Airport. There's just like little planes going around all the time.
Oh yeah.
So
you think he went for the big journey and just never, or do you think it was on purpose?
you think? Yeah, that's a good question.
Like
Like
suicide?
he was like a drug runner and he just like slipped the radar.
Yeah, flew below
You
it.
mean what's his name? Rod Collin?
I don't mean to
I'm-
call him out by name, but
I'm looking at his picture here. He doesn't, and maybe that's a little bit.
just fly up to Canada, bring up some of whatever they need that we got.
Yeah, like
No, that's the
Yeah,
opposite.
I feel like you got to go.
That's
the
the
other way.
opposite. In Canada, like getting prescription drugs is like
Easy.
crazy easy.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
they have healthcare.
Like they'll sell you like 500 pill bottles of like stuff that you got to get a prescription for here,
I believe
So-
just over the counter.
yeah, so
fly,
he's
fly
going-
guns up there, come back with drugs.
There you
we
go.
That's the triangle trade.
My grandma did that once. She like
She brought guns up to
no,
Canada.
no, no. She had a friend that needed because they're just old people, you know. So
Yeah.
her friend was like, "Oh, I could really use some ibuprofen or ivermectin or something like that." And so my grandma like bought it and like brought it down. It was like crazy nervous going back across the border. She didn't even have like an insane amount, but she's like, "I'm like trafficking drugs."
Oh, yeah. Well,
Old
Good one.
ladies drug running for each other.
oh,
Mm.
yeah. But I can just imagine being a guy who flies a plane around and you just get close to the border and you're like, I wonder if
Yeah.
I wonder if I'll get a radio call, and you just go a little bit further.
Ooh, until they tell you you're in international
Yeah,
airspace.
you're like, oh, oops! Sorry, I got distracted.
I think Cuba will just shoot you down.
Just
Just shoot you right down.
That's pretty sick.
But so another piece of Tacoma news: the port, the tide flats on the side of 509, where you have the port and the tide flats, nowhere to eat lunch.
Oh,
Think of all the people working there
oh yeah.
that want to have lunch. So the port is starting a pilot program where they're going to have food trucks show up to different spots around the port.
Oh,
They're gonna see how it goes. So
That's awesome.
finally,
definitely.
places to get lunch in the tide flats.
Everybody's gonna appreciate that. You used to work at the Tide Flats, didn't you?
I did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
Okay.
I worked for Taylor Shellfish.
Huh.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Shout out, local legends.
I was down there mining oysters.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard, good work with mostly people that used to do meth.
Wow. Well, used to is an improvement. You know,
Yeah.
it means
Yeah.
they're getting their life together.
Better than yet to.
I met like this cool mother and daughter that worked there, and they both like the mother had like grown up with like old school acid heads, like in like the fucking 60s or whatever, and they would like force feed her acid all the time. So she was like just tripping her whole
Wow.
Whoa.
childhood.
Harvesting.
And then her
oysters in the
daughter-
mud flats.
So then her and her daughter would just like do acid and just chill together. And I remember her daughter telling me like, yeah, I'll just buy like 15, 20 tabs, and then just like every time I feel myself coming down, just take another one until they're gone.
Wow.
Just like stay up for a few days,
That's crazy.
That's life in the mud
and then
flats.
go and fucking scrape up some oysters and throw them in buckets, dude.
Wow.
What a life down
That
there.
is true though. Not a lot of food out there when I was there. Not a lot of
No,
good eats.
It's the 509 is like the demilitarized zone in Korea. The tide flats is like North Korea. There's nothing to eat. You know.
Well, now these food trucks will be doing good.
Yeah,
You got it.
I hope so. So they got a 3-month pilot program set up. I think the first truck is actually going to be a pizza food truck,
Oh yeah,
and
those are
then
easy.
the next one's going to be lumpia, like
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
love
Filipino.
lumpia.
And then the next
Have you ever
one's
talk to a Filipino, and they'll brag about their family's lumpia?
oh really?
They're like,
Is that-
oh, you gotta come over and try my family's
oh,
lumpia.
okay.
Yeah,
it seems kind of easy to make.
I don't know.
I guess you need to fry it.
I think it's similar to like tamales,
Mm.
where it's like it's a big family get together, make a million of them event.
I like a tamale
I like tamale too, but
wrapped in the corn husk.
I'd rather have a lumpia.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a taco truck. There's like a whole schedule of food trucks, and this is the pilot program.
Oh, awesome.
So if it does well, and I think it will, they're going to expand locations that food trucks will be
allowed to go.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome. So we might be seeing more food truck culture around these parts.
I hope so. And like this brings me to the point that running a food truck is actually from a regulatory standpoint is kind of a pain in the butt.
Oh,
You
I
have to
bet.
have like licensing in all of the counties you want to operate in. There's specific local ordinances that have like a lot of say over where you can and can't sell food out of a truck.
Oh, totally.
You have to get
Well,
like
it's gotta
special
be harder to maintain the standards that a regular restaurant would require.
for sure. But I think it's also like I wonder if restaurants like brick and mortar locations feel kind of threatened, so they're trying to pass local legislation to curb food
Oh,
trucks.
yeah, well,
The
it's
fat
definitely
cat
gonna be
building food servers.
Well, like, remember
Paying
that time
their
where
leases.
that place selling tacos at the Tacoma Farmers Market got in trouble because at Point Ruston, there's only one restaurant allowed to sell tacos.
Oh, yeah, they got the
Yeah, they
non-compete
made
clause.
a rule at Point Ruston. There's a restaurant there that sells tacos. Only place allowed to
How
sell
can
tacos.
you do that?
No, there's non-compete clauses for areas.
Mhm.
I actually read a bit. There's this famous Supreme Court case where there was a non-compete clause in this like mall for sandwiches, and then somebody opened up like a pita pit, and the Subway and it was like the Subway or whatever was like, nah, you can't. We have the non-compete on
Ooh.
sandwiches.
Ooh.
And then it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court declared that a sandwich has 2 slices of bread.
Wow.
I was gonna say the whole debate was just whether pita was a sandwich or not.
Yeah, exactly. Whether
That's
whether
fucking
pita
great.
pit or whatever.
Dude, I never knew that it was in writing.
yeah, when
How
all
many times has somebody hit you with that?
I read
That
a thing.
question of whether something is a sandwich or not?
I hear it a lot, right? I went all I think
Look
I,
in the
it
literature.
was like some collection of cases by Alito or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, maybe some of the regulations on food trucks can be rolled back a bit. I think it would do a lot to sort of expand the food variety and
Oh
food
yeah. Well,
ecosystem around here.
I lived in Portland for a little while, and the food truck culture is fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's just convenient. Like people in the Tide Flats, you get a certain amount of time for lunch. You don't want to drive all the way to like Tacoma proper or Fife
Oh yeah, just to get a
to
lunch.
get a lunch.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
And
keep the mud people in the mud.
keep the mud people.
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want them mixing around with the rest of us.
But
Ooh.
yeah, speaking of food,
You want to talk about a sense that's meant something different between generations. I mean,
Just in your high boots, just caked in mud.
you talking it. I was walking it, boy. All right.
speaking
Looking
of
like
food,
Gordon Fisherman.
oh yeah. Speaking of food, though, so
Oh wait, should we talk about the cider? I just opened it up. You brought. Is that no?
one more thing, because
Okay.
like the this goes well with the food.
Okay.
There is an all Washington taco tournament where people vote on their favorite taco places
In Washington.
in Washington.
Interesting.
I like that.
It's the final right now.
Oh.
One is Taqueria El Sabor here in Tacoma
Really?
El
versus-
Sabor for top taco?
Damn.
Versus-
I've definitely been there.
versus Dos Hermanos over in Olympia. So it's Tacoma versus
Ooh.
I
Ollie.
don't think I've had Dos Hermanos.
Interesting.
So
I got to look up that bracket.
Wait,
yeah.
maybe I have though.
Yep, the all Washington taco tournament. It's in the final right now.
Did they
so
do a 64?
I don't think they did 64.
Interesting, but that's cool. El Sabor.
Yeah,
I've been
so
there. I've been there one time. I don't remember anything specific.
I've been there too. I don't. It was a few years ago, but
There's so many places around here. They all get jumbled in my mind.
for sure. But go and vote. Support. Support.
This is going
support
Tacoma all the
favorite.
way, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on now.
I mean,
I've
you know.
had those tacos from El Sabor. I remember them being pretty fucking good.
There we go. Endorsed by
Yeah.
the podcast.
But like, here's the thing. Olympia, we like your farmers market, but the city with taco in the name has to take this title.
That's a great point, actually.
Has to take this
Tacoma.
title. So
Yeah.
yeah, mobilize the Grittisons, get them to vote.
All right. Well,
El
I'll
Sabor.
vote. Wait, what is it? Where is it?
It is.
So, like, on
I think
Twitter or
I think if you look up the All Washington Taco Tournament, it's like a website.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the beverage I brought.
Yeah, it's a Honey Crisp cider.
From Incline Cider Company, which
Dude, firmly owned, crafted responsibly, gluten free.
Yeah, it's I think these guys are based in Auburn, so shout out Auburn. I thought they were Tacoma, but
It's close enough. They got a little
it's-
mountain in their logo.
it is.
Proudly crafted from local Washington apples.
And they got a lot of great flavors.
8.5%. That'll put a little scoot in your boot.
It will.
Yeah,
It will.
well, that's good.
It's efficient.
They're not playing around.
No, they aren't. But it's good.
Honey Crisp is probably my favorite apple.
That's a good one. They got that Cosmic Crisp too.
Oh yeah.
You ever tried that?
Yeah, that's the newer variant.
It's like out of control. I mean, that's like some Wuhan apple right there. I mean, that's made in a lab, baby.
I heard that it browns a lot slower.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, once you cut it.
Huh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
My uncle lives in Chelan and is a apple inspector. One of his jobs is quality assurance in apples. He says
That ain't bad. That hazy honey crisp.
There's like 8 or 9 different qualities you look for in an apple, and
The browning.
the browning is
browning.
But to me, also, it's like I understand that, but most of the time that I'm eating an apple, I'm just eating an apple. You know, I'm not gonna take the time for it to brown.
Well, the thing is all the apples that get sold pre-cut. If you're getting some pre-cut apple slices, you need the
You gotta
browning
watch
to be
yourself.
slow. So all those pre-cut apple slices are now Cosmic Crisp,
Gotcha. That makes sense.
and the Honey Crisp is left in the wind to just be a regular old apple.
I like it. No, I the honey crisp might be that's the old glory of apples to me.
Yeah.
Well, the Cosmic Crisp I think was actually invented by the university or Washington State University.
What apple in particular is isn't that our state whatever?
Oh yeah, do we have a specific apple that's the state apple, or is it just apples?
Is it just right?
I think it's just apples.
Just
I don't
apples?
Think I don't think they wanted to offend anyone, you know.
I'm gonna do some research here.
Yeah,
Just a second.
appreciate it.
But you know, my favorite apple it's more of a cooking apple, but I love the Granny Smith.
Oh
A
yeah.
good green color, great crispness, and I love the tartness of it too.
Yeah, I do like cooking apple. You got to get that green. But you ever have a what do they call it where you dip it in the caramel?
No,
Caramel apple?
No, I have
How
not.
you like them apples?
I have not even had those apples, but it sounds good.
You never had a caramel apple?
No, never.
That might have to be next week's treat for you guys.
We might have to live.
Get some candied apples in here.
Oh,
That'd be a
yeah.
good old time.
I love a candied caramel apple.
Wow.
It's a tough eat though. Yeah,
No,
you
it
know. Here's the
actually
thing. You say you
It
like it
looks sick.
until you have it in your hand, and it sucks to eat.
Well, the thing is, sometimes the apples are not that strong on the inside.
Oh, like
It's got much less to do with that, and a lot of times the caramel on the outside.
It's
It's
too
like
thick.
you gotta. If
You
the
gotta-
caramel's too thick, I mean, it's almost impenetrable. You're just asking to break a tooth. How many people have broken a tooth on a caramel apple
I'm sure.
historically?
I'm sure plenty.
It's one of the top tooth-taking foods.
Oh yeah. Well, that plus bobbing for apples, you're in for a whirlwind of tooth decay.
No, but that's just a regular apple.
Yeah.
Tooth decay.
But you gotta bite into it real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why'd they go with apples?
Because they
it's
float.
the season. Oh, because they float. That's a good one.
Ooh, nice one.
Yeah. So does a watermelon too.
I
but
think a
guess
lot.
it'd be harder
I
to
think
grab in your
most
mouth.
fruit actually floats.
Yeah. Send like that Mitch Hedberg joke.
So yeah, I mean,
Throw
it
'em a
seems
lime.
to answer our question
Throw 'em a
earlier.
lime.
To answer our question, it seems like it's just sort of just general apples is our
I
state
like
fruit.
I like the revolt against Red Delicious.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not very delicious.
They're horrible. And
What is the red delicious? Is that
It's
the
the
real
dark
dark
red
one?
one.
Yeah.
the dark red one that's kind of mealy and
Yeah,
it's got
the
the little feet on the
I
bottom?
the
hate a
skin is
mealy
too
apple.
thick.
That's like what I always thought about like when I was a kid and you get the Happy Meal and sometimes you get the apples with it, you know? I always thought McDonald's served a real mealy apple.
Oh,
yeah.
I know exactly.
It's
I
probably
didn't
Red
like that.
Delicious.
Probably.
Oh,
they had that color,
It's probably
too.
The thing is, like,
now.
Red Delicious used to be an incredible apple, like decades ago. Right?
Oh, it's fallen off.
Yeah, because the way, farmers, of course, will breed apples for certain traits, right? And Red Delicious, they prioritized the color over everything else.
Over the sweetness and over the... That's why a bad-looking apple sometimes is the best one. Because if it made it through, then it had to be stellar in some taste qualities rather than look qualities.
So you think they tasted it and they're like, I know this one's ugly, but let's send it through. It's just so good.
Exactly.
Yeah, most of I think the majority of
scale.
I think the majority of the Red Delicious crop actually gets exported to China because in China they love the
color
red on the apple.
They love red over there.
You have to.
The Red Nation,
you don't
Red
get,
Army.
You don't get a choice.
Yeah. You ask any Chinese person their favorite color, they'd all say red.
Oh yeah.
But before they do so, they like look over their shoulder at the camera, and staring at them. Oh,
really
red. That'd be a sick mandate to bring down. That everyone in your country has to have one unified favorite color.
I could see them doing it.
You have to, but like,
because it's like it's like the unwritten law. It's like, what is this guy? Loser. He likes blue.
That's what you're taught, right? Like you never get asked what your favorite color is. You're just told from the beginning your favorite color is red.
Red is the best color.
Red's
Every other
sick.
Most
color
beautiful
is not as good.
color.
do you think they preach that, the superiority of just the color red?
Well, because like we got red, white, and blue in the flag, and like that comes up a lot for
Flags?
Just for like when you're talking about colors.
Red's such a good one. It's the first one we name when we talk about the colors of the flag.
But we got 3 colors. When you just have one color, it's like that's the color.
Well, they got red and white. Or no, I'm thinking
it's
Japan.
gold.
They got the
little
gold
stars.
They
They
got the
got
little
the
stars.
stars,
yeah.
That's just a flourish.
I like those little stars.
It's the big red though. That's China.
I kind of like. That would actually. I'd appreciate it if they just did red. Like the flag was just
solid
red.
red. That would be sick.
Dude, nobody's had the balls to just go one color. Every country.
Muammar Gaddafi's Libya was called Green Libya, and the flag was
just green.
Just green.
Ooh,
That's pretty
Gaddafi,
sick.
dude.
Muammar
That's
Gaddafi.
sick.
I like
Just
that
take
a
the
lot.
One color.
One
Yeah.
color's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the stars and stripes.
Maybe we should make a Tacoma flag if there isn't one already.
There is one. It's not very good. It's just the seal of the city.
Our Tacoma flag?
We should design a new one and petition for it
Just
to get replaced.
just gray.
Gray. Just one solid
Just
gray.
one solid
That would be
gray.
sick.
That would be awesome.
It would look so dystopian if every building was flying just a gray
What is
flag.
that flag? You got
It's the same color as the sky.
It's an
Yeah,
overcast
you fly it in the
day.
sky, you can't even see
Yeah,
it.
you're like, where is it?
Dude, the Tacoma Dome, instead of that big the American flag, they're flying just the fucking
big gray flag.
The
one by the screw,
has a
yeah,
big
yeah.
flag.
We should make it a different shape too, not a rectangle.
Ooh, a gray triangle.
Yeah.
Isn't that Texas that goes they rock the triangle flag?
Oklahoma is like it's kind of oddly shaped. It's not a triangle, but
I like that, dude. Just like at some point in history, some guy was like, "Well, no, we want it to look like this,"
We wanted ours
and
is
just made
different.
enough of a fuss about it. They're like, "Fine,
Like,
you can have a weird shaped
alright.
flag, I guess." Go for
Nepal, I think, is 2 triangles.
That's right. It's like
Yeah.
it. Ooh,
Very cool
a little
flag.
anti-space
Yeah.
in the flag.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Have a flag with a big hole in the middle of it.
Ooh, like an ancient coin.
Or like
Yeah.
So you could wear it like a necklace.
What if Japan started doing that?
Ooh, the hole instead
Just
of the
put a
red.
hole. They're like, you know what it is.
during the Romanian Revolution, like when they were overthrowing Nicolae Ceausescu, that was like the flag of the revolution because the Romanian Socialist Republic had like the socialist seal in the middle, but it was like just a
Ooh.
regular Romanian flag, so they'd cut the seal out and then fly it with just that hole in the middle.
That's pretty sick.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
I like
Yeah.
that. We should do that with the American flag, the one we have up here, and just cut out one of the stars.
One of those
Just because we're like, dude, fuck Canada. Or fuck Canada.
Fuck Canada. So we cut out a star.
Fuck New Mexico.
Yeah. Fucking pussies.
But to
Do
bring
not
it back
acknowledge them.
to Tacoma, I got one more item on the news front. We sort of alluded the T-Dome, Tacoma Dome link extension, like where
Yes.
Line 1 from Seattle's going down to the Tacoma Dome, and it's being
It got
delayed
delayed
until
another
2035 now. You know,
so long.
You know why that is? They were doing the environmental impact assessment for the projected plan, and then they were like, well, maybe we should put a station in Fife or Milton. So now the alternative needs its own environmental impact review, which has to go through the entire process of having a public dialogue and being approved by a board. And so
It would be nice to have another stop in Milton or Fife.
it probably would, actually. But
For
if
all
it-
those Milton and Fife people that live there.
if it means
What if you want to take the light link to the casino?
The Cassini?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I bet the tribes would like that. Usually they're the ones who hold up the environmental stuff.
It's not even that.
Not hold up, but are in
It's-
charge of the decisions.
Yeah, making a fuss.
It's it's close enough to the. Actually, there's a rule. If the government is not allowed to operate transit between a transit hub in certain areas if a private company is able to do it.
Oh, yes, that's right. I
Hmm?
remember there was
So,
a bus system that was around that sucked, but they just were allowed to operate because they were private instead.
So
Interesting.
the Pierce County Metro, Pierce County Transit couldn't operate a shuttle from the Tacoma Dome station to the Emerald Queen Casino.
Oh, because they do that themselves.
Yeah, or something like that. It's really weird. It's a strange transit law that I've heard is one of the reasons why FedEx Field is one of the worst stadiums in the NFL.
Oh, really?
Just getting to it because it's such a long walk from the nearest metro station.
That's a good point.
But we're getting a little out in the weeds here. But yeah. So with that, I mean that's basically the explanation for the delay. But
Well,
man,
I guess when I'm old, my dreams will come true.
I know, but here the thing is, local officials are pretty upset with Sound Transit, and I'm hoping there's pressure to at least operate the Sounder outside of peak commute hours. If we got the Sounder
Yeah, we at least have the
regularly
infrastructure for it.
scheduled, yeah, I mean that would make things much better, or more regular bus routes.
Oh, yeah. Willie and I actually found a recent transportation issue that happened just today. There was
The tanker spill in Lacey.
no. There was a tanker spill in Lacey?
Was
Yeah,
it train related?
No, a truck carrying petroleum products rolled over.
Oh, yeah. I actually
I-5 South in Lacey.
I saw that on my way home this morning.
Yeah, they're still cleaning it up. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it
take
was
them all
bad.
night. Yep.
The whole cabin was shredded, and it was the circle tanks,
Yeah.
Yep.
all rolled so far. It
Yep.
looked like traffic was shit on the way.
Oh,
Yeah, it's down to
direction I was
one
going.
lane, I think, still all day.
And I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I think I
7:30.
remember what you're talking about, Fitz.
Yeah.
You're talking about our little incident that happened last night?
Okay.
Ooh.
Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
So last night over on South 54th and South Alaska Street,
Okay.
down here in Tacoma, a drunk driver hit and dragged a sign for multiple blocks. Before he finally stopped, people came out to try and help him, and he pointed a gun at them.
Oh my goodness.
They then arrested him. I guess the dude's 47 years old. But, you hope when something like this happens that there's no innocent bystanders that have to be hurt. And initially you think that that's the case.
But
except for the family of PPS James G. Lewis, because
the sign he hit
it was
an
a
immemorial sign.
No.
gone but never
Dragged
forgotten.
for
Oh
weeks.
my
PPS James G.
goodness.
Lewis.
James G. Lewis.
What do you think PPS is?
I don't know.
I
We
was
were
thinking
wondering
it
the
was
same
like
thing.
maybe like police officer related or something like that.
Maybe.
Or maybe like a victim of a drunk driver at that spot. You know how
Public
there'll be
poop
like
scooper?
memorials? You know,
yeah,
you'll
like
get,
in
like, a
loving memory.
cross.
Don't drink and drive in
Mm.
loving memory. Of,
Exactly.
That would be
So-
funny if it said,
Oh, yeah. Don't
Like,
drink.
yeah,
Please
don't
don't
drink
drink
and
and
drive.
drive.
And the sign just is taken down.
yeah.
Yeah. But, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, a little local flavor to see.
Could
what's,
you
what's
imagine
going
you're
on in the
so
streets.
freaked out, people are trying to help you, and like you immediately, like I gotta get my gun.
These people want to help me? No, thank you.
They're gonna turn me in.
Yeah.
I did knock over the sign.
Stuck under his car though, just dragging it. I mean, like how long? I would drive
a
like
pretty big sign.
15 feet before I decided I was gonna hop out and
Yeah, you just
Try and
it's
remove the
tearing something
sign.
up.
Reminds me of that episode of Seinfeld where Newman's got like the sewing machine stuck under his mail truck, and then he drives into that area where like Kramer dumped a bunch of like paint remover on accident on the highway, and it sets his truck on fire.
oh yeah.
I do remember that one. That's funny.
Yep.
But yeah, drunk driving in Tacoma. This is I don't think this is the place for it. You can't get too fucked up and start driving around Tacoma, dude.
Nah.
There's a lot of fucking.
You got to be paying attention. Because all
Yeah.
the other drunk drivers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other drunk drivers. There's
There's a lot of people walking out in the streets.
the streets are just all lined with cars.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of one-ways.
Yeah, you gotta watch out, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Tacoma residents don't drink and drive.
PSA.
Yeah, you might just take out the sign of somebody's
Of
beloved dead family member.
PPS. I still don't know what PPS.
PPS.
Is.
That's
Oh.
not. Wait, if you have a double ending to a letter, it's PSS, right?
Yes, postscript. Postscript.
Oh, it would be PPS.
But we're not writing a letter. We're making a sign.
Gone, but
gosh.
not for. I'm gonna do a little research here. Let's see.
All right, should we move on to? Do we got any Tacoma-related events coming up this week?
Do you like Shrek?
Shrek 1? Yes.
Have you ever wanted to see a musical?
I actually don't know if I ever have wanted to see a musical.
Because this week at the Tacoma Musical Playhouse, you can catch Shrek the Musical.
Shrek the musical? Shrek 1 the musical?
I believe it's based on the events of the first movie.
Okay,
yes.
good. Yeah, I
Um,
like Shrek 1.
So I'm trying to think.
Do you think they
is it-
sing All Star?
Is it like yeah, that's the thing that I don't know. Is it like an original score, or are they going to be singing Hallelujah?
Oh,
you
that
know.
reminds me. I saw this. There's this documentary on this song Hallelujah, and the kind of the background story of what's the guy who wrote
Leonard Cohen?
Leonard Cohen. Yes, it just came out, but I saw the preview for it, and it was really funny because they were like, "Oh yes, it's one of the greatest songs ever." You know, he wrote 100 verses for it before he decided, and you know, it was underground, and they didn't want to publish it forever, and you know, people didn't even know about it for years and years. And then Shrek came out. It was like barely mentioned that it was like in the Shrek soundtrack, and it's like one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time. But that was basically the only reason Cohen like made it, was because Shrek put him on his shoulders.
That's great.
Carried him through the
What
victory
a
line.
great soundtrack.
Oh, really one of the better ones.
You ever
Yeah.
heard the whole thing that like Shrek was just like
and
a
then I saw
dun?
her face.
It was the
Nah,
Gulag at
yeah.
DreamWorks.
It was a dungeon, dude. If you were a
fucked up
naughty
at-
boy,
If you fucked up at DreamWorks,
You gotta
they
work at
sent you to
Shrek.
work on Shrek. And then it turned into like one of the most successful franchises DreamWorks has
Oh,
put
yeah.
together.
slaves built the pyramids.
There you go. Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers can get it done.
Well, they sure can.
It's gonna be Farley.
Didn't DreamWorks make Saving Private Ryan?
DreamWorks?
Yeah, that's because it's Steven Spielberg's
Mm.
studio.
Oh, okay. Yes, that would make sense.
I guess they probably did then.
It's either that or Band of Brothers. I think one of the two. It actually
Probably
has
both.
the DreamWorks in the credits. Yeah, probably both actually.
Who did Band of Brothers?
Spielberg.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've never seen Band of Brothers all the way through. I've seen some of it.
Whoa, really? I
Not
think
all the
you'd
way,
love it.
though.
Should we watch it?
We should at some point.
Is it on HBO?
It should be.
Yeah. Let's do it,
It
dude.
very well should be.
I think we got our week planned out.
How about the
go.
Pacific? Have you seen the Pacific?
I haven't seen the
Pacific.
Pacific, but I did watch All Quiet on the Western Front last week.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it good?
It was really good.
I heard it won some awards at
Yeah, at the
the
Oscars.
Grammys or whatever, Oscars last night.
Yeah. You know, I actually watched some of the Oscars last night.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, really, all I watched was the In Memoriam.
Oh yeah.
Not nearly as many people died this year as you would think.
I still
Mm.
felt like it was a long time. I was like, damn, how many
Well-
people did they kill?
What were
Well, but
some
there
names
was,
you
it was a lot of
noticed?
like behind the scenes people
Oh,
and
yeah.
like of actual famous people whose names I recognized. It was Ray Liotta. It was Angela Lansbury,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was like one other person I knew. And it's like, this is crazy for all the celebrities that I would recognize. Like, I probably know 1,000, 2,000 celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think 5 or 6 would be dying every year.
Yeah, I feel like we've had some tough. Like I feel like what was the
especially-
one?
Especially with comedians. I
What was
mean,
it?
most likely to kill themselves among the celebrities,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like.
Well, yeah, they probably didn't give it up for like.
But even death
comedians.
of any cause.
Mm.
Like, you
Yeah.
have a whole generations of successful. I think they had to have won an award, and then you get the In Memoriam.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
So that narrows it down a little bit. But
So well credentialed.
yeah,
Mm.
so there was a lot of like,
Celebrities.
oh, this guy did the background music for, you know.
Ooh, so wait, is it any time that an Oscar winner of any kind dies, they get put in the In Memoriam the
I
next
think
year?
that's what they did this
I
year.
think so.
So it was pretty
Huh.
long. Lenny Kravitz sung the song, but
Oh, yeah. I like Lenny Kravitz.
I like Lenny
He's a
Kravitz, too.
talented gentleman.
yeah.
I just don't see like how, like what it would take for me to actually get drummed up into having any real interest in like watching the Oscars.
Somebody might hit somebody.
Mm,
I mean, yeah, true. It's like that's like the most exciting thing that could
that's
happen.
ever happened.
Ever
yeah.
happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for, what
I
was
mean,
it?
maybe if you like loved a movie and you really wanted it to do well.
Except for, what was
You're
it?
a big fan of like a specific actor
The
or something.
Little Feather incident back in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
where the Native American protest or whatever.
Yeah, well, she
Was it
accepted
Brando?
it on behalf of Marlon Brando, and apparently, what's his name? John Wayne lost his shit.
Oh yeah, well he hates Native Americans.
John Wayne wasn't happy about it.
No, he lost
fucking
his
hilarious.
shit. He's like, let me at her.
She shouldn't be up on that stage.
Yeah.
I saw a movie. I mean, granted, it was a movie, but where John Wayne was just shooting buffalo. He was just shooting buffalo, and they were like, "What do you? Why are you shooting those buffalo? We can't just like out of a train window or
Mhm.
something like that." And he's like, so the natives won't be able to eat this winter."
Oh my goodness
That was a line he
gracious.
added himself to the script.
Yeah, he was like, "Hang on, I gotta make a little edit right
And
here."
then he actually shot some buffalo on set, and it was like 1970.
I got one other Tacoma event that
On the
some
come up?
people might be interested.
Awesome, let's hear about
This
it.
weekend, there's the Gem Fair
Whoa,
at the
Ooh.
fairgrounds. If you like gems, rare minerals,
Mm.
jewelry, beads,
Mm.
crystals, probably glass, and some other things.
Go
Nice.
go shopping for your bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go make a necklace.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get all sorts of stuff. You got a favorite gemstone?
I like the opal.
Opal's a good one. Opal's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
I don't know. I think I got my girl something with an opal in it a little while ago.
Whoa.
It was like it's like a little turtle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Oh,
Opal,
nice.
Opal's a good one.
I also like
Opals.
the ruby because it's my month. My month. I was born in July.
Okay, yeah.
Mm, I'm not sure what mine is.
What month were you born in?
April.
Oh yeah, that's the sandstone, I think.
Sandstone.
There is one month that's like way lamer than all the other ones, but
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, dude, my month
petra-
stalactites.
petrified wood.
exactly. Hey, that's the state gemstone.
It is.
knock
That's
it.
right.
Petrified wood?
Yeah, Washington
That's
State.
our
gemstone.
state. I mean, all things considered, petrified wood is pretty cool.
It is pretty sick when you go. You can walk on the beaches and find some too.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the petrified wood forest.
It just
out in
ceases
the-
being wood.
I
Across the
wonder.
mountains.
I wonder if they'll have geodes at this.
Mm,
Geodes those are impressive.
dude.
All right, so,
Is this PPS?
yeah, PPS, the police officer James Gordon Lewis.
Mm.
He died right at that spot.
Oof.
He got hit by a car.
No. Oh no.
No.
Not a drug driver though, I don't think. It was
Oh.
just sort of a happenstance thing. He was already there, like dealing with something else.
Oh, I actually think that happens somewhat right. That's
Yeah.
why they made a law recently that you have to be 20 miles below the speed limit when you're one lane away from a cop car dealing with an accident.
Ooh, that's
They
interesting.
changed it somewhat recently,
Yeah.
and I don't know how people are supposed to know about it, but
They're on Twitter.
Oh, wait, no, dude. This is him.
whoa, what?
So, I guess the dude kind of drove out. Some guy, like, pulled out not knowing that James was coming or whatever.
Okay.
And so he, like, did the thing where he hit him in the side and went over the hood. You know?
Oh.
It was on a Kawasaki, though, so pretty cool. Kawasaki 1000.
He got run over by a Kawasaki?
No.
No, he
was
pulled
on his
out
police
and then-
Kawasaki.
Oh,
Yeah, and
oh,
then-
he was on the police Kawasaki.
Wait, no.
Yeah, he was on his motorcycle.
He was on a oh my goodness, he was on his duty vehicle and just got
hit this
man.
guy
Flipped
in the
over
front
the-
side and
Oh.
went over it.
Damn, that's pretty sick.
And then some guy hit his sign.
I thought you were.
he can't really
I thought
never rest.
I was imagining he was just like flying down the street. He was wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and flip flops, burning the wick at both ends.
Nah, dude, he was coming to fucking deal with something. Let me see.
Killed in the line of duty.
He was responding to backup an officer who had just stopped a wanted felon.
Ooh.
Well,
So
there
there
you
we
go.
go.
I hope he called for 2 officers for backup.
Yeah. Did you just let the felon go at that point?
Like, yeah, we lost.
Could you
We lost
imagine,
one.
like you go up to the felon, it's like, sir, we've had a bit of a situation. I'm gonna have to let you go.
Or you go up to him and you're like, all right, so we got you for the felony, and we're also going to add you murdered a police officer. Like, what? Yeah, he was on his way.
Just down the block.
Well, that actually does happen. There was a guy. Was it in Seattle or somewhere around here? He shot at a cop car, and then one of the other cops, when he drew and fired, he actually shot his partner right in the head.
Ooh.
And so they tagged
Shot
the
his
dude
partner
with-
in the head?
Yeah, so some guy shot at a police car with 2 cops in it, and one of them just like drew his weapon, fired back, and accidentally shot his partner right in the head.
Oof.
And so they put the
Friendly fire on the guy?
on the guy that
Damn.
initiated the shooting.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's that's the X factor, That's the X factor.
Another day in Grit City.
Yeah. Well, that might have been Seattle, which sometimes it gets wild over there too.
That's true. We got anything else on the docket this week?
Nothing else that I could find that I thought was particularly interesting.
Any interesting comics at the club this week?
Chris Kattan was in town this weekend
Oh, how was that?
for Night at the Roxbury.
Mm.
I had heard that he supposedly wasn't doing so well, but he came in and he seemed in pretty good shape.
Mm.
Nice.
And he put on some shows. People were having fun. It seemed like.
There we go.
Seemed like a good time. He did a full hour every
Oh, yeah.
time.
There we go.
Heard last time he was doing about 40 minutes, so
He's
Well,
back.
he's got more of an
back at it.
act together. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
doing good. Well, and I think that a lot of maybe the decline or whatever was that he had he broke his neck on on SNL.
Oh my
Ooh.
god!
I think it was on during the live recording.
Oh.
Damn, he was doing a lot of pratfalls.
I think he hurt his neck, and so now he's got like the squat half neck
Oh,
because he had like
yeah.
discs fused or whatever.
Fusion.
And when he turns to look at you, has to turn his shoulders. You know,
Mm.
he
Oh,
can't just
yeah,
turn his neck
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I think that that's a pretty easy way to get addicted to prescription painkillers.
Oh, yeah.
and then
Have a
get
neck
to the other side
surgery.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Jeez. Well,
But yeah,
and then-
I mean,
but
I think
then
that's it for me. Chris
Anyone
Kattan was
coming
great.
up the week next week?
I don't think so.
I think I saw Sean Patton 2 weeks from now. I'm looking
Sean
forward to that
Patton's coming through soon.
one. But,
Not a
well,
lot going on.
Maybe just enjoy the rain this week.
Thanks
yeah,
for letting
well,
me sit
actually,
in, fellas.
there's a little bit of sun shining into the studio right now,
know.
so
Looking through.
suck
We're
it,
enjoying it while we can.
soak it up while it lasts.
All right.
All right.
Well, then we'll see y'all next Monday with another week in Grit City, and Damn, live life like the mountains out.
Right.
The mountains out, boy.